Survival isn't about looking the part or dressing up like a character from a movie. It's not about having the fanciest gear or the most impressive beard. When you're truly out there facing the elements, none of that matters. What counts is your ability to adapt, think clearly, and make smart decisions under pressure. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of building a storybook woodland home, but that's not what will save you when the weather turns or night falls fast. The romantic fantasy of bushcraft, those cozy hand-built shelters and crackling fires, can be downright dangerous when the sun sets and the cold creeps in. Reality is far less forgiving than the stories we tell ourselves. In a real emergency, every calorie and every minute counts. You can't afford to waste energy on projects that look good but don't keep you warm or safe. That's why we're here, to cut through the myths, the TV drama and the old campfire tales. We'll focus on what actually keeps you alive, not what looks impressive on camera. Take the debris hut, for example. It's a staple of survival TV, often praised as the ultimate emergency shelter. But is it really practical, or even fast enough to build when you're cold, wet and losing daylight? Science and real-world experience say no. In harsh conditions, these shelters often fail, leaving you exposed and at risk. Instead of thinking like a craftsman, think like a medic. Your number one goal is to stop heat loss, not to build a house worthy of a magazine cover. Survival is about function, not form. Ancient skills had their place, but today you're likely alone, with only what's in your pockets and your head. You need to use every advantage you have, and that means thinking differently. We'll arm you with the science of survival, how to beat heat loss with modern materials, smarter methods, and a mindset focused on efficiency and results. The mission is simple. Stay alive by prioritizing speed, efficiency, and proven tactics. It's not about tradition. It's about what works when it matters most. Forget the romance. This is about not dying. It's about making it through the night and seeing the sunrise, no matter how tough things get. It's time to put tradition to the test and embrace the science that brings you home alive. Let's get started. Building a debris hut sounds simple, at least on paper. The diagrams in survival manuals make it look like a straightforward, almost foolproof process. Just gather some sticks, pile on leaves, and you're set for the night, right? But the reality is far more challenging and unforgiving. Until you try it for real. The first time you attempt to build one, you quickly realize it's not just about following steps. The forest doesn't hand you perfect materials, and the work is much harder than it looks. You need a meter-thick wall of leaves or pine needles, which means hours of exhausting work. Every handful you add barely seems to make a dent, and the pile grows slowly, testing your patience and your stamina. In a true emergency, you're likely cold, tired, and maybe injured, hardly in shape for a construction marathon. Your body is already running on empty, and the thought of building a shelter from scratch can feel overwhelming. Every calorie spent gathering debris is one less to keep you warm. In survival, energy is precious, and you burn through it fast just searching for enough material to make your shelter even remotely effective. Sweat from the effort soaks your clothes, setting you up for rapid heat loss. Even in cold weather, the exertion can leave you drenched, and wet clothing is a recipe for hypothermia. Most forest debris is damp or frozen, making your shelter a cold, clammy trap. Instead of insulation, you end up with a soggy pile that saps your body heat and leaves you shivering through the night. You risk building a refrigerator, not a refuge. The cold seeps in, and you find yourself wishing for any other option. And the structure can collapse, and the entrance leaks heat. Even a small mistake in construction can mean your hard work is undone in seconds, leaving you exposed to the elements. You're also inviting bugs and critters into your home. The forest floor is alive, and your shelter quickly becomes a haven for insects and small animals seeking warmth. After all that work, you're left with a shelter that's slow, energy-draining, and often dangerously ineffective. The promise of safety turns into a struggle just to stay warm and dry. In survival, you can't afford to gamble on tradition. Modern tools and knowledge can make the difference between life and death. And clinging to old methods can put you at serious risk. The debris hut is a high-risk, low-reward bet. There's a better way, one that saves time, energy, and could truly keep you alive when it matters most. History's harshest lessons come from real survival, like soldiers in the Korean War's frozen retreat. They didn't build elaborate shelters. They dug quick trenches, used ponchos, and huddled for warmth. Survival meant speed and simplicity, not craftsmanship. On the Eastern Front, soldiers made snow caves in minutes, not hours. The principle, brutal efficiency. Military doctrine now teaches small is better. A tiny shelter is faster to build and easier to heat. Modern training uses tarps, ponchos, or space blankets for instant protection. The longer you're exposed, the slimmer your chances. Survivors act fast, using ugly but effective solutions. Minutes matter more than skills. Adopt this mindset. Focus on what saves your life right now. Speed is survival. To survive in the wild, you must understand your greatest enemy, heat loss. Out here, the cold is relentless, and your body is constantly fighting to keep its core temperature stable. If you don't know how your body loses heat, you're at the mercy of the elements. There are 4 main ways your body loses heat: conduction, convection, radiation, and evaporation. Ignore any one of these and you put yourself at serious risk. Each method can sap your strength and threaten your life, especially in harsh environments. Conduction happens when your body touches something colder than itself, like the frozen ground. The earth pulls warmth from you relentlessly, draining your energy and lowering your core temperature faster than you might expect. Convection is the process where moving air, like wind, strips away the thin layer of warm air your body creates. Even a gentle breeze can accelerate heat loss, making you feel much colder than the actual air temperature. Radiation is invisible but powerful. Your body constantly radiates heat outward, especially on cold, clear nights when there's nothing to reflect that warmth back. This is why you can feel chilled even when you're not touching anything cold or facing the wind. Evaporation is often overlooked, but it's deadly. When sweat or wet clothes cling to your skin, your body loses heat rapidly as moisture turns to vapor. This process can chill you to the bone, even if the air doesn't feel freezing. Being wet is more than just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. Wet clothing or skin can drain your core temperature at an alarming rate, leading to hypothermia much faster than you might realize. Building a debris hut or any shelter often means working hard, sweating, and sometimes getting soaked by rain or snow. This fuels heat loss through both evaporation and conduction, making it even more important to stay dry and insulated. Each of these pathways, conduction, convection, radiation, and evaporation, is a threat you must respect. In survival, overlooking even one can be fatal. An effective shelter is your best defense. It blocks all 4 types of heat loss, keeping you warm and protected from the elements. Insulation, elevation from the ground, and wind barriers are all crucial. Understanding these principles is the key to real survival. Knowledge gives you the power to make smart choices and stay alive when conditions turn deadly. Don't fight nature blindly. Use science and proven techniques to your advantage. Every decision you make should be informed by how your body interacts with the environment. That's how you build a shelter that truly works, one that keeps you safe, warm, and alive, no matter what nature throws at you. Of all heat loss threats, conduction from the ground is the most relentless. Lying on cold earth can undo any shelter you build. Indigenous peoples knew this. Thick hides or layers on the floor were essential. Modern survival gear focuses on ground pads for a reason. They block conduction. Debris compresses and gets damp, losing insulation fast. A foam pad or reflective bivvy is far superior. Fast, reliable, and effective. Survival starts from the ground up. Modern survival is about controlling your microclimate with minimal effort. Smaller shelters are better, less air to heat, faster warmth. Use a waterproof, windproof layer, first tarp, poncho, or even a trash bag. Set up a low A-frame or lean-to in minutes to block wind and rain. Next, use a reflective bivvy or space blanket to bounce your heat back. Place your insulating pad inside to stop ground heat loss. This system, ground pad, reflective layer, outer shell, counters all 4 heat loss threats. It's fast, lightweight, and effective. You're dry, out of the wind, and insulated from the ground. Compare that to hours of labor for a debris hut. This is science, not romance. Deploy in 10 minutes, not 10 hours. That's survival. Wind and water together are deadly. Wind chill accelerates heat loss. Water robs you through conduction and evaporation. Wet and exposed, you can die in minutes. Debris huts are porous, neither waterproof nor windproof. Rain soaks through, drafts steal warmth, and you're left cold and damp. Modern shelters, tarps or ponchos are instantly windproof and waterproof. Set up in minutes, they shield you from the elements. Immediate protection buys you time and safety. Against nature's worst, speed and integrity win. Survival isn't about tradition, it's about what works. The debris hut is outdated. Science and real-world evidence prove it's risky and inefficient. The new rules, speed, efficiency, and proven results. Carry a lightweight kit, emergency bivvy, tarp, foam pad, cordage. This isn't cheating, it's smart risk management. Modern shelter systems are low risk, high reward. They deploy fast and protect immediately. When your life's on the line, trust science, not nostalgia. Get out of wind and rain, insulate from the ground, and use modern materials. Move fast, stay dry, conserve energy. Survival is about adapting, not honoring tradition. Use your brain. Stay alive.